Right, so Red Bull's in the news again. This man Marco said signing De Vries might have been a mistake. Might have been a mistake, you know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's such a wild thing to say about a driver that's actively employed to you. But I digress. Yeah. There's a lot of talk, a lot of chatter. Oh no, not the notifications. A lot of chatter going on about what Red Bull looks like, not only in 2024, but in years to come. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you the 4 names I'm seeing now. Maybe even 5. I'm seeing Ricciardo's name floating around. I'm seeing Lawson's name floating around. I'm seeing obviously Tsunoda's name floating around as he's part of the program. I'm seeing Iwasa's name floating around. And last but not least, I'm seeing 2021 IndyCar champion Alex Palous' name floating around. Current IndyCar points leader Alex Palous. His name is floating around, right? And I just think to myself, man, Red Bull, one thing about Red Bull, man, they always have a myriad of talent at their disposal. And that's one of the things that makes their academy so bulletproof. You know, they always have a name to choose from, even externally. Yeah, look how many drivers they have in F2 right now. They got Hauger, Fitty, they got Maloney, they got, oh my goodness, man, why? They got Maloney, they got the 2 high-techs, Crawford and Hajar, and they have Sebastian Montoya waiting in the wings. And they have Liam Lawson in Super Formula. They have so much young talent. And obviously the domino for this whole Red Bull silly season shakeup starts with either De Vries getting kicked or them getting tired of Perez, or even both. Maybe they'll even have 2 seats coming up in the future. Now, before I even go off on this tangent, I'll say I don't think they're gonna sack Checo. I think he's in a very decent spot right now. Yeah, he's not winning. I think if he comes 3rd this season, then conversations need to be had. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's just going through a slump. Way too many races left in the season for him to just... I'd be shocked if that actually happened. Right? But let's just say it does. And I hate to be the speculator, but let's just say it does. Right? What do you do? Do you put Tsunoda in the seat? I would. That's exactly what I would do. I would put Yuki in the seat. I'll just put him up. Call him up immediately. Better yet, I'll call him up. Get rid of De Vries. We just have a brand new AlphaTauri lineup for 2024. Yeah? But that's the obvious thing. Who do you put in the AlphaTauri? Obviously, one of them is Liam Lawson. The other one, however, that's the one that's up for grabs. If Iwasa wins the F2 championship this year, it goes without saying that he will either be in Super Formula or he'll be in AlphaTauri as either a main driver or a reserve. That's just the way I see it. Right? I don't see anybody else from the Red Bull Academy winning the championship right now. They're all too inconsistent. Even Hauger, who I think is probably the other best bet for the F2 drivers in the sport right now. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. So if Perez gets kicked and they kick De Vries, you send Tsunoda to Red Bull with Max. You get two of your academy dudes. You get Lawson and Iwasa. Maybe even get Lawson and Palos. Here's the thing with Palos. I'm hearing people say that Palos should go straight to Red Bull. He shouldn't even go to AlphaTauri. Right? And that would be some Hamilton McLaren 07 type stuff. And I think it would be super exciting to have an IndyCar champion go into the top seat in Formula One. As a matter of fact, the last time it happened was Jacques Villeneuve, 1996, and he almost won his first race. Granted, F1 is way different now than it was back then, but still, similarities are still there. The question is, do you actually send Palos all the way up to Red Bull, or do you send him to AlphaTauri? We know Marco watches IndyCar. He wanted Herta last year. If Herta was super license eligible last year, he would be where De Vries is at right now. Right now. But it didn't work out. But it can work out with Palos. The thing is, Palos is a McLaren reserve. So for them to get Palos, they'd have to buy him. Buy his rights. Right? Because Palos can't go to McLaren. They're not going to get rid of Norris or Piastri. That's a solid lineup. Why would you get rid of any of them? It's the car that needs to be fixed, not the drivers. Yeah? Does Palos ditch McLaren to go to Red Bull? If he loves Formula One that much, why not? If he already has 2 IndyCar championships at his age, maybe he wants more. Maybe he wants another challenge. Maybe he wants to race at the pinnacle of motorsport. Sorry for calling it that, but in this case it kind of is. Right? Maybe he wants more. You know, you look at Alex Palous' career, it's just been him on the come up, man. He went from GT3s in Super GT to Super Formula to Indy. You know, he almost won that. Went to IndyCar, seized the opportunity, won the championship, and now it looks like he's about to win a second championship at his young age. 2 championships in 4 full-time seasons. Like, that's definitely one of the hottest properties in racing right now. And Formula One teams should be looking at Alex Palous. And I know Red Bull are. There's no way they aren't. If Herta didn't work out, Palous is right there. McLaren aren't gonna get him. They'd have to get rid of one of their guys, and I don't see that happening personally. So he's the guy. I think Palous could be in F1 next year or even 2025. Then we get to Daniel Ricciardo. I'm seeing people say that we should take De Vries out the AlphaTauri, put Ricciardo in to see if Tsunoda is really that guy. My question to you is, will current Ricciardo give Tsunoda a bigger run for his money than Gasly did last year? Because hear me out. Do I actually think Ricciardo is garbage? Of course not. I know too much wheel. I understand the sport way too well to just think a guy like him is just all of a sudden out of nowhere cheeks. I think what happened is he wasn't able to you know, maximize the McLaren, and due to the situation they were in, paying him all that money, they had to get rid of him. And I don't fault McLaren for doing that. They absolutely made the right choice getting Piastri. That was a big money move too. But going back to the current situation, what do you gain from sending Ricciardo to AlphaTauri? Dare I say, what do you gain replacing Perez with Ricciardo? Popularity? Yeah. But will Ricciardo be better than Perez? Everyone's talking about how good he was at Red Bull when he left, but listen, buddy, that was 2018. We are in 2023 now. Yeah, we are yet to see this guy even drive the 2023 Red Bull, even in a test session. So what exists that allows you to believe that Daniel Ricciardo is going to step into that Red Bull and do a better job than Sergio Perez? This isn't even any hater stuff. I'm genuinely asking you, like, what is it? Just a hunch? Do you have facts behind your statement? What makes you believe this? What makes you believe this? I don't know. But I don't think that sacking De Vries for Ricciardo makes the most sense. I don't even think Tsunoda even needs to be going up against a teammate right now. There is absolutely nothing wrong with just evaluating Tsunoda where he is right now. You don't need to compare him to his teammate. Compare him to the rest of the grid. Just evaluate his performance in the car, stand alone. Don't compare it to anybody. Yeah? I think Yuki might be ready. I think come the end of the year, we might be having Tsunoda to Red Bull 2025 shouts. And it's good, because there were times where people were giving up on Yuki. Even in his rookie season, people were saying this guy's terrible. But we've seen the progression, and I think Tsunoda is at the peak of his powers right now. That's great to see. Then you have Liam Lawson, who I think if you have to get rid of De Vries, he's the guy. He is absolutely the guy. There is no reason why Liam Lawson should not be the next junior to drive a Formula One car. Even ahead of Iwasa. Unless Iwasa wins F2, Lawson should be at the top of the ladder, the top of the totem pole, because he's done it. He has easily been the most impressive Red Bull junior. You look at what he did in F2, you look at what he did in DTM, you look at what he's doing in Super Formula right now. This guy is so adaptable at his young age. You could strike gold with this kid, man. You could actually strike gold with him. If you get rid of De Vries mid-season, it better be for Liam Lawson. He is the guy. He is the guy that you give the seat to, not Daniel Ricciardo. I don't know what you're gonna get. I don't know what you're gonna gain from Ricciardo and an AlphaTauri at all. You're just clogging up the junior ladder for no reason at that point. Ricciardo is here for PR and PR only. Maybe a couple test sessions, yeah, but I don't know. For Ricciardo to take an AlphaTauri seat after rejecting Haas and all them lower teams last year just doesn't make any sense. It don't really make no sense in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe he has a change of heart. Who knows? But Liam Lawson is that guy. Then comes Iwasa, my guy. Love Iwasa to bits. Favorite Red Bull Junior. Favorite F2 driver, Ayumu Iwasa. He has been on a slump recently. And because of this slump, he is third in the championship. Even though he was leading it a couple rounds ago. But do I have faith that he will bounce back? Of course. I think Iwasa will be a title contender. Dare I say, I think top 3 is a lock. He will have that super license by the end of the season. But this guy he can't bottle this, man. Iwasa cannot bottle this. An F2 championship, when things are the way they are, an F2 championship the way things are right now would absolutely cement Iwasa and Red Bull's future. It would absolutely cement it. Because then he'll have the super license. They can't put him back in F2. They'd have to do something with him. And that means either AlphaTauri seat, Super Formula seat, at worst, AlphaTauri reserve. That's the lowest ceiling for Iwasa if he wins the championship. And even if he barely misses out on it, like gets a close second or even like a Tsunoda style third in 2020, I think that would be enough. Yeah? Then you get Iwasa out of there and you continue to evaluate Fittipaldi, you evaluate Hajar, Crawford. Hauger would be in there for a third year. I don't even know if they'd still have faith in Hauger. I think Hauger's improved, but would Red Bull still have faith in him? I don't know. Yeah, you have those guys. Who am I forgetting? Maloney's another one who I think, give him some more time, he could be great as well. So, yeah, man, that's the Red Bull situation. I don't really know what they're gonna do or if they're even gonna do anything. De Vries is kind of like kind of looks like De Vries is on his last legs. He's gotten better. My goodness, my throat. He's definitely gotten better since the start of the season, but by the end of the year, would he have done enough to warrant, getting re-signed for another year? I don't really know. I don't even know what he's doing here, period. It's kind of him being signed to AlphaTauri in general is just a random move. And I think Red Bull are kind of paying the price for that randomness now, because it's just not really working out. Maybe it will later. And if it does, who knows? Maybe he'll get the Red Bull call up. I doubt it. But it could happen. It's not impossible. Yeah, man. Red Bull have a lot of decisions to make. And I think it's going to be rough, because I feel like no matter what they choose, some talented driver is going to get shafted. And that's a shame. But it does make for good discussion. And that's what the comments are for. So go down in them and tell me what you think. If you were Helmut Marko right now, what would your plan for the future be? What drivers would you be looking at as the future of Red Bull? Let me know. Let's discuss in the comments. Intern out.